Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is only $2.50. So you can get your gym gains on or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is the place where sports opinions collide. That is sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me on the show, I got Spike, FIFO, and Shelton, and Nick. What up, y'all?
What's happening?
What up, though?
Basketball NBA playoffs are hot and heavy. We had a lot of game sevens in the first round, quite a few, and we're gonna basically recap the first round and preview the second. So we're gonna talk about the Celtics, of course, Detroit, Toronto, all of them, and then of course take a look at the second round matchups and give you guys our take on that. And, you know, maybe even have a discussion about the Denver Nuggets, man. You know, talk about what happened with them. So, nevertheless, man, glad to have you guys on board. And we're going to go ahead and get started with our performance of the week. Is that you, FIFO?
That would be I. That would be I. We ain't got no graphic, though? Nope. I'm dolo without it. Okay, bet. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. The worst performance of the week. Look, everybody watched it. So I'm actually going to talk about Philly a little bit. So this marked the first time that the Sixers had a playoff series win against the Boston Celtics since 1982. That's a 44-year drought.
That's like Dr. J, right?
Bruh. This is the first time in franchise history that the 76ers overcame a 3-1 deficit. Previously 0-18 in those spots, while Boston was 32-0, holding a 3-1 lead.
Ooh.
The 14th team in NBA history to rally down 3-1 in the best of 7 series, and only the second game 7 win in Philly franchise history. This is the type of stuff that happens when you don't take care of business, when you are the Boston Celtics. And this is something that I've been saying for a while with the Boston Celtics. You live by it, you die by it, and they died by it. And the other thing that I did not like, and I've said this in the past. And we can go back to the number 1 versus number 8. The Golden State Warriors versus the Dallas Mavericks. When Dirk and them boys. What did they do? Avery Johnson switched up the lineup. What did my guy over here in the graphic next to Jaylen Brown do? Switch up the lineup. You're supposedly the better team. You got to make them play your way. But at the end of the day, Boston is not what we thought they were. Is they home in the first round.
Do you think that Jason Tatum would have made a difference if he had played?
I think Jason. Look, I think
hold on answering that question because and answer that because we're going to talk about, of course, what happened in more in depth. But yeah, I didn't know any of those fun facts, people. Those were really, really interesting. But you know, hey, records are meant to be broken, bro. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, that was awful by the Celtics there. So let's get into it. This past weekend, we witnessed not 1, not 2, but 3 Game 7 first-round matchups, all in the Eastern Conference. While we will get to the winners of those games later in the show, let's focus on the losers and get them out of the way as their opponent did to them. Since their seasons are over and we now have a chance to recap how they performed overall. First, let's go ahead and pick up where we left off, man. We have the Boston Celtics who blew a 3-1 lead against the Philadelphia 76ers. Who was at fault for the first round collapse? Shelton, you asked the question about whether or not Tatum, if he had played, would have made a difference. And FIFO, you were about to respond to that question.
obviously Tatum is a difference maker. Obviously Tatum is a difference maker, and Jaylen Brown had a damn good game. And the majority of this season, they played without Jason Tatum. Jalen had 33, 9, and 4, but they shot 10 out of 33 for three. And we've seen this in the playoffs in the past. This is not new for Boston to go cold and kind of lay an egg. They have to play more aggressively downhill with their two stars. They need a back to the basket presence. It's too many threes, man. It's too many threes. And you're not Steph and Clay. When you have one of those guys, then you could play more like this. And again, great team. But they gotta have more of a presence down low. Like look, a Cam Boozer. Obviously, I know they're not going to be able to draft somebody like that, but a player of that style will help this team immensely. But I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to style. The style in which they play came and bit them in their ass because Joel Embiid came to play. Joel Embiid finally came and did something in the playoff series. So I think honestly, Joel Embiid was the difference in this.
So for me, real quick, I think I'll say two things. One, I can't really answer that question about Jason Tatum because he didn't do nothing for them to win in games 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
So he played in those games and they were up 3-1 in both of them. And I believe one of those was on at home as well before they did game 7 back at home. So they could have closed out the series and him not even really getting to the point where he needed to miss game 7. If, like FIFO said, they took care of business. But number two, to answer the question, I blame Joe Mozzarella, because that's what he don't deserve for me to call him by his real name. His meerkat looking ass. I just don't I'm dumbfounded at how persistent or arrogant he is at my way or the highway with his offense, especially when you have two of the best wings in the league, I think, or if not, top 3 in the league, and they're taking 2 of those positions. So the fact that game 7 was even still relatively close and the way they lost was still chucking up threes, yeah, that's on him. And I'm not saying he's on the hot seat or he should be fired, but I think his seat is hot going into next season because since the championship, they as the heavy favorites lost to the Miami Heat. I believe it was in 23 or whatever. They lost to the Knicks last year after coming off their championship season. And now you lose to the 7 seed, a play-in team, when you had 2 games up before Joel even came back. So it shouldn't even really matter. And then he still came back from an appendix surgery. So he's not even 100%. And then you were still up 3-1 and you blow that. I think that's a coaching thing. I think we could blame the players, and I'm sure there's enough to go around, but that's a coaching thing to me.
Yeah, I agree with Nick. This is a coaching thing. He started his starting lineup in the playoff game 7 for the first time. It's the first time these 5 have been playing together. That's 1. 2, to Nick's point, they kept shooting the threes. Like, he never changed his philosophy. And also 3, I think his seat may not be hot, but there needs to be something to change. There's a staleness in the air in Boston. Somebody asked him, how did it feel to go out in the first round? He said it felt the same way as winning a championship. That don't sound right to me. Something off there in the sense of just locker room stuff. Like, it don't make sense to me. And he can be stoic, he can be laid back or whatever it is, and not want to have a gung-ho, what's the dude for the line? Campbell. He ain't got to be like him. But you can't tell me losing in the first round with 2 of the best players on the floor felt the same as winning a championship. That makes no sense to me. Right. So there is a staleness in the air. Some need to change in Boston. It may not necessarily be his position as coach, but maybe something on the staff, maybe even some of the roster, but it's stale.
Jaylen Brown played well, and he gave it his all in game 7. And then he gave it all on stream too, because he just went out and just completely crashed out.
That was worse. That was worse.
What happened on stream?
He was just bitching, bro. He was just bitching. He was saying Joel, the refs are letting him flop his way to the line. He said this is his favorite season as a Boston Celtic. Personally, I guess because he was the number one guy and he got MVP looks. And then he ended it with like 4 random white boys with sunglasses in the background. I don't know what the hell they was doing, but it was a weird stream, bro. Especially because I think that was after they lost. So
it was. So
it's like you saying all this shit immediately after a Game 7 loss at home, and you play for the Celtics, like that. It was just for him to do that was weird. It was just a weird thing.
And we talked a lot about him this year, about the Celtics being a contender. So we thought as the season, continued and got close to the playoffs, no one imagined them going out in the first round. And Jaylen Brown, was looking like a leader on that team, like a guy that could be, the Batman. That conversation it had been settled. And yeah, Jason Tatum didn't really do shit. I know he got hurt and then he really didn't do shit, but we expect him to go out and find a way to get it done somehow, some way. And, it didn't happen. As the guy, we're looking at you. And to blow a 3-1 lead, to not find any sort of way to will his team to a win, and on top of the coaching errors or lack thereof coaching from Joe Mazzulla, led to a downfall, especially when Embiid came back. Because, of course, that changes things. Embiid comes back, that's a whole other, element to their offense that they didn't have. So by 6 and damn sure by 7, Mazzulla should have had an answer. And we'll talk about Philly later, but yeah, it wasn't great, and it wasn't a good look. And now, I don't know if I'm in agreement with the hot seat, Nick, but blowing a 3-1 lead, adding in what FIFO said, going into next year, yeah, I think there may be a little bit of a microscope on them.
You know what I think the bigger question is, to go a little bit further than where Shelton took it, is should Jason Tatum come back at all? Because this was the number 2 seed without him all year. And when he came back, in my opinion, at least the games that I watched, especially in the regular season, they defaulted to him as the number 1 guy. And I think it was evident that he was playing in his old man game. A lot of head zone, pull up, a lot of 3-point, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't blowing by people and dunking. That wasn't the game he had. And to me, that's what makes him the dynamic player that he is, because he could play like an old man, but then he got enough, handle and wiggle and enough speed to turn the corner and dunk on somebody. And we didn't see that. And I think that, in my opinion, it disrupted their rhythm to their season. So that's why.
Was it selfish for him to come back?
I think partly yes. Because to me, I felt if you're a top 2 seed without me, then you got it. Not in a like, whatever trade, because obviously y'all don't need me. Nothing like that, but in a sense that, like, well, if I take the year off, when I come back next year, I'll be closer to 100%. Because, bro, like, it was less than 365 days that you popped your Achilles, bro.
There was a hold on real quick. So there's a stat that says, I think since he came back from injury, like April 1st till now, he was like, or at least for the regular season, he was like the 5th in minutes. Like, he was 5th in minutes.
It's crazy.
Coming off of that. And then, like, I think he was playing 40 minutes in this series or something like that. Like, the fact that he didn't blow another on the other side was just kind of like that's why a lot of people were scared. That's why as soon as I saw that it was he was injured or limping, I was like, bro, he can't play Game 7.
The thing about that, FIFO, what you said earlier, I don't know. We don't know if that was him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times there's pressure from the organization to get back because okay, we played this well without you. We get you. You're the difference maker that's going to win us the championship. That's what a lot of people are thinking. You don't know if it came from the organization or if it was him just pushing to get back because Jaylen Brown was taking the spot. There's no way of really knowing that, but I'm sure if the organization didn't want him out there, he wouldn't have been out there. He wasn't going to force their hand, I don't think. I think that's what their hopes were. Is we've done a great job without you, but if we get you back in enough time and get you in rhythm, then we got enough to win the championship again. I'm thinking that's what the thought process was behind it. That's why he played so many minutes instead of putting him on a minutes restriction. If nothing else, you'd have had that going in your favor. So in saying that, mistakes were made across the board, but I can't say him sitting out would have benefited Boston this year. I don't think so. I mean, hindsight is 2020, but I just don't think so.
I think this. I think that in sports, regardless if you're talking professional, high school, or collegiate level, if you have a group of people with a common goal and a set way of doing things, that once we get a rhythm of doing things and you haven't been a part of that rhythm at all, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't until toward the end of the season where he started even practicing, you know what I'm saying, with the team. So you're not part of the momentum. And I think he stifled the momentum a little bit because we didn't get the Jason Tatum that got hurt in New York. And we would have got that version, the guy that's still explosive, that still has a first step. And we even seen it with Ant-Man coming back. There was a move last night that he made when he got to the cup. He blew by. He went to lay up, and you saw he didn't have it. You can't tell me coming back from an Achilles pop less than a year later, that you are going to be close to what you were explosive. You're just not. And I think that's what hurt him. I think Tatum old man game is still good, but that version of him is really a number 2 or number 3. And he was clearly a number 1 and number 2 option on this squad. And I think that's what hurt him. The momentum of how they were playing and winning games and the adjustment of minutes. Nick, you just talked about it. He was averaging close to 40. Who had to sacrifice for that? The
Correct.
guys that stepped up. So
to me, that's more on coaching than it is on Tatum, for example. Because they the ones, like I said, the organization dictates those minutes. It ain't just coming from the air. It ain't even on Missoula. That's coming from up top. Like, look, y'all got with the doctors said it's okay for him to play a certain amount of minutes, and that's what they're going to go with because he's still the number 1 draw for that team. And there's no way you're going to tell me if Tatum, your best player, even if he is the second best in most people's minds, there's no way you're going to tell me because they've gotten where they are, we're going to sit him out because we may have a chance of losing the series. That's real. That's looking at hindsight. You can't say that up front. You're going to play him. If he can play, he's going to get out. Same thing with Cade. Cade with the lung. Cade feels better, he's going to play. That's our chance to win the championship. If the doctors clear you, you're supposed to play. That's just how it works. And if the doctors cleared him, you get him out there. You get him out there as soon as you can and hope for the best. You're not thinking that he's going to – if you know, you got the report. So you know his chance of re-injury is a certain percentage. You risk it if you have a championship at stake, especially on a year like this. I think that anybody would.
But why risk it when you're already the number 2 seed? Like without him, why risk it? It's like now we're talking about an embarrassment of riches.
Because we just saw it wasn't enough.
What I was gonna say is they were half in, half out with it. People, they were trying to say this is a gap year. We know he's hurt. They didn't expect him to come back so early and to be looking the way he did when he did come back. And they was like, well, shit, fuck it. We can kind of the way the East looking. We could kind of take, make a run still, but then if anything happens, we will, obviously put the bumpers up. My thing is that you was up 3. This is regardless of, I came into the season thinking the Boston Celtics were still going to be a playoff team. And if you told me they were up 3-1,
right?
I'm thinking on a Philly team that had a hurt Embiid for the first 2 games, I believe. Like, it's like, what are you talking about? Why are we still, there's a game 7?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't even got to that point. Like Tatum technically could probably still be playing maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less based off of what we know about the injury. But you got to give credit to Philly for just being like, these motherfuckers was just fucking around.
Well, and Embiid went on record. He said he was tired of losing it to him, and you know he went out and backed it up. But just for the record, I do want to say that they did make it clear that it was Tatum's choice to come back, and Tatum did a couple of interviews where, you know, he talked about coming back and the reason why he wanted to come back, and he talked to a lot of people about the decision and how the game was taken away from him, and that, you know, it was the first time that it happened. So that's all the stuff that was said publicly. You know, I don't know what was said privately, but you know, they definitely made it clear that it was his decision and not theirs. So we'll find out if that wasn't true and if there was something else going on. You know, we'll find out. But yeah, I just want to at least have that on record.
Funny, nobody mentioned Derek White. Man, makes $32 million a year. All-star,
that's crazy.
Olympian.
But Derek White ain't shit.
I mean, his resume don't read that well.
Yeah, Ken, I was gonna say Derek White to me was one of my favorite players on that Boston team.
Tatum got benched.
He didn't
in the
show
Olympics.
up. Yeah, he didn't show up, and that's big.
I'm with you, Ken. I just don't even feel like making the argument right now. I don't feel like making an argument for why Derek White ain't shit. It's like he showed
$32 million. He's an Olympian, an all-star.
Talking about money, bro.
You want me to tell you how much Tobias Harris makes?
He's an Olympian and an all-star too.
Bro, Derek White is a complimentary player that adds to a championship team. And yes, he played a pivotal role, as we know, with Tatum gone throughout the season. And if you want to sit here and criticize and talk about Derek White and him not showing up, then because he got paid $32 million.
No, I just think it's funny. Nobody
go ahead.
Him.
But he's a role player, bro. He ain't really that. I mean,
I'm not gonna ever blame this Boston Celtics losses on Derek White. He gets
deduced to a role player when Tatum comes back. Part to what y'all saying.
Deduced.
Yeah.
He's a championship role player, bro.
He plays a pivotal role on this team. Derek White has won plenty of games for this team. That's what I'm saying. So you can at least count on Derek White to have one or two of those games in a series.
I'm not saying that.
How many did we get to in this series?
That's what I'm about to say. Like,
that's what I'm saying, kid.
I'm not saying.
Point.
I know. I'm not. Lou. I'm not saying that he doesn't add anything, but when it comes to what I depend on, like I'm dependent on Jaylen. Like to me, the hierarchy is Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Joe Mazzulla. However you want to put those like categories 1, 2, 3. By the time we get to Derek, if we're counting on Derek White to save us for the series for Game 7 at home. When you were already up 3-1, it's like, bro, we lost the plot. It's worse than that. If we're waiting on Derek White to come through, even though he's making $32 million. I mean, it's NBA money, bro. They all make money.
Derek White was one. He's probably led them out of 82 games. Derek White probably led them in scoring in 20-25 of those games. All I'm saying is Derek White's again since the championship. Where was he at in that Miami Heat series when they were up? Where was he at last year against the Knicks? And then where was he at this series against Philly? It's like, all right, you keep on saying he's an Olympian. He made $32 million. Well, then where was that motherfucker at for those 3 series? And did we bring up his name a lot then? Probably not. So I'm not going to do it now.
And Shelton, that was because they didn't really have anybody else to really shoot the ball outside of Peyton Pritchard and everybody else. So, of course, he's going to lead the league. It's the whole saying a player putting up great stats or good stats on a bad team. You know, he just happened to be on a good team. Look, if y'all want to go ahead and shit on Derek White, go ahead. Shelton and Spike, the floor is yours.
I'm just saying he didn't show up. I expect more out of him after what I've seen throughout the playoff runs that they've had.
That's the problem. You expected something. That's the problem right there. Hey, Lou, I'm surprised when he thought.
Because you don't watch basketball.
That's what they say.
Basketball. That's why you said
Hey, listen, they say I don't watch basketball, but based off my takes lately,
You proving
Sheldon,
it right now. You proving it right now that you
no,
don't watch basketball.
I watch winning
Hey,
basketball. They're losers. and I pointed out 3 series that happened in 3
He had the
seasons.
game-winning shot in Game 6 versus the Heat.
Oh, okay, what are you doing Game 6 versus the Celtics?
Now you gonna put the franchise on his back? Y'all just said he wasn't shit, Nick. He didn't show up. That's all I'm saying. He didn't show up in this series.
You're the one that
he
said
blame for it.
You're the one that said he's an Olympian and a pivotal guy on this team. And I'm like, there's other examples where he didn't show up. So again, I'm going off of his consistency of he ain't really showing up.
I expect more out of him than Joe Mazzulla. I say that.
That's crazy. You expect more out of a role player than a head coach?
Yeah.
Elite role player, Nick.
He's supposed to be an elite coach.
Yeah, no, Nick is right. Like, no, there's no way I expect more out of Derek White than I do Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla is top 3 most important thing to make the Boston Celtics a championship team is Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Joe Mazzulla, and the rest of y'all. Well, like, what is we talking about?
Nigga tell me he lose in the first round and feel just like winning the championship. He plummets to the bottom of the expectation scale.
You talking about Joe Mazzulla?
Yes. I don't expect shit from him.
I'm with you.
I don't expect anything from him.
After this series and that quote you said where he was like, I feel the same if we win and lose. I'm like, bro, I don't even know. He should be fired off of that. I don't give a damn what he did just a couple seasons ago. I don't ever want to hear my head coach say I feel the same after losing as I do winning a title. What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Explain that. I would have been a reporter and be like, please explain that.
What does that mean? Yeah.
Shit, they talking about trading his ass.
That's pretty bad.
Jaylen Brown.
No, the other guy.
Oh, Derek
White.
Derek White.
It's like, get his ass out of here. Anyway, well, look, Derek White has his moments, man. But never mind. Why are we talking about Derek White? But yeah, this is crazy. Anyway, let's.
Now at McDonald's, a sausage McMuffin is only $1.50. So stop dreaming about breakfast sausage and go get it. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Talk about the Magic, man. So next we have the Orlando Magic, who also blew a 3-1 lead thanks to the ghost of Doc Rivers. What should they do this offseason to improve their team?
They already started. Sheldon,
hired a new coach.
Sheldon, Floyd gonna be back on House of Pain again. he got more free time, boy.
I don't even think the clock was at 0 when he got fired. Wrap it up.
They had his box right there in the office waiting.
They left him in Detroit. You got to make it back to Orlando.
Get back on your own.
Boy,
money.
I was thinking, I was like, damn, Orlando just needs like a solid point guard. Maybe they can go get Ja. Then I forgot they already traded with
Derek
Memphis.
White.
Or Derek White. They already traded for Memphis this season, giving up four first round picks for Bane. And I'm like, based off of how Bane ended the series, I'm like, oh my God. Like,
they have nothing left.
They ain't got. I don't know what they do. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what bargain bin point guard you can get, but that seemed like what they needed.
I don't disagree, Nick, but look, let's look at it like this. The Orlando Magic are betting on being playoff contenders, which is why they were okay with giving up 4 first-round picks, because none of these picks should be lottery picks, number one. Number two, I don't disagree with you. I do think that they need a point guard. But number three, I kind of agree with Orlando moving on, because if I'm looking at this Orlando Magic team, how they're constructed, in my opinion, they should have – the barometer are the Atlanta Hawks. Number one, y'all shouldn't have been in the play-in. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, if I'm going player for player, I can make an argument before the trade for Kuminga that Orlando had more talent. You know what I'm saying? Top to bottom. I could make that argument. And we saw how they played Detroit. We saw really good games from Orlando. We just didn't see sustainability, and that's how their season has been. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of talent. Banchero, let's be honest. I know I saw He's a number 2. He's the second best player on the championship. He's not the best player on the championship team. We saw that. I like Banchero, but he's not the best guy. The best guy's averaging 25 every week. Ken, you want to shake your head. You know who the best guy on the championship team is? Cade Cunningham. Did you see offensively and defensively what he was doing? Possession after possession, tapping the ball, getting the steal, getting a block, playing one-on-one defense, playing help defense, not getting the call. Do you know how many calls that they didn't call? Literally, he's getting pushed after having a collapsed lung, and he's not getting no superstar calls on the road.
But they played two different positions.
Paulo showed up, people.
Showed up. You score. You go 1 for 20, and you show up. Oh, come on!
I'm talking about game 6. He went toe to toe with Cade Cunningham.
Should have put him away. Okay, he was up 20.
I got you, but he did go toe to toe with Cade in 2 games. He just didn't do it in the game he needed to do.
He lost both of them.
That's my point.
I know he lost both of them. But
no, wait. That's my point. When I tell you guys, best player on the championship team, 5 to 6 games out of a 7-game series, you got to show up. That's what you do. You're a superstar. You're number 1 option. Number 2 option is 3 to 5 games. What the Banchero give you? 3 awesome games. He's a second option, Ken. Not the guy.
So where can they get the guy from? Because they
ain't got no options.
Yeah, they have no way to get one now. You can't get him in the draft.
If Memphis is desperate enough, they should be able to get Ja Morant.
They're going back. That's going to the well twice.
They don't have the picks to do it. Memphis got all their picks already.
Suggs. They can trade Suggs and somebody. Can't they?
Suggs.
They desperate.
You got to.
They don't want no Suggs.
Josh signed a big ass contract. You got to match the money. You're gonna have to give up Franz. You're gonna have to give up a lot of other pieces. You're gonna deplete the team, and it's gonna be Ja and Bane and Banchero.
And Lou, you want to talk about Derek White getting paid? Suggs signed a contract too. His money about to kick in too, and he started off the series hot, but he ain't do shit to close it.
That's how Suggs has been his whole career. He'll trick you.
They could always go to Boston with Derek White.
I was like, Suggs is a middle class Derek White.
Hey, but I don't even think he's middle class.
Y'all don't think Derek White better than Suggs?
No, Derek White is better. He's better.
Yeah, I'll take Derek White over Suggs because I know at least Derek White is consistent. Suggs, hell no, bro.
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with FIFO. Paulo is not a number 1.
Crazy.
Yeah, bullshit.
He's not a number 1.
He's not a number 1.
He just can't. Like it's not enough. Like Kendrick said, it's not enough. Like you looking at him, he gonna give you flashes and good games, but he ain't gonna do what Cade does. He ain't gonna do what SGA does. He ain't gonna do what
LeBron did. What LeBron did? He can't do what LeBron.
He can't do what D Mitchell does. Like he's not a number 1 guy. He's a very high end number 2, but he's just not a number 1.
I get what y'all saying, but he needs. It was more on the help than it even was on him. Now he did have some rough games in there, but shoot, he needed some help from those guys. We talked about it. Bane didn't show up when he needed him to, nor did anybody else for that matter. This dude averaged 26 points per game in this series.
He did need help, Sheldon, but there's no number 1 that you can name that let their team miss, like T-Mac said. I'm no way a team missing 21 shots and
hold on. Who did you just quote? Who did you just quote?
A number 1. I just quoted a number 1. No, number 1.
And you know why he can relate to this Orlando Magic team, Lou? Because he lost.
Care about his playoffs.
I'm telling you, we're talking about getting buckets. That's the whole reason.
We're talking about getting buckets and number 1 players, and that's the reason Paulo not number 1. And your team can go 21 shots and not. The Hawks did it. They don't got a true number 1. Like if you have a number 1 on your team, you're not letting. They ain't going through no drought like that. They gonna go get a bucket, whether it's at the foul, the free throw line, or whatever. They
got buckets, and the well went dry. To me, that was a coaching thing. That was a coaching.
Even more so than that, Nick, too, is the immaturity. The team is going to mature. It ain't that he can't score. We know the boy.
He might be a number 1 one day.
He is. He's going to be a number 1. It's just you got to give him time to grow into that role because he already, like I said, he showed flashes this series and averaged 26 points per game. He gonna come back. If he comes back hungry next year,
And that's
still number one.
that's 20.
Also could be his peak.
It could be as well. We don't know. But he scored 25 plus on Detroit's defense. Going into the series, FIFO, if I told you Orlando's going to go up 3-1 and Banchero's going to average 26 points per game, you're going to be like, shit, Orlando won that series, right? And I'm going to say, well, you ain't let me finish the story yet. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I think that what Orlando showed is that they're talented when healthy. That's what they showed. They also showed how young they are because they couldn't hold a 3-1 lead.
That's the biggest thing.
At home up 20 points. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy, but that's youth. Yes. I think that, again, I don't know how they're gonna do it. That's the reason why I'm like Bane would have been a great pickup and worth those draft picks, at least for this season, if they would have won and got to the second round. The fact that they didn't, and the way he shot in game 6, it looked like he lost what was it off of the Space Jam when they lost their talent? It looked like that because I was like, bro, why are you shooting when you are bricking everything? Somebody said in the chat he got more bricks than Franklin Saint. Like I was shocked by that. It looked like they blew the game on purpose just to give it to Detroit so they can avoid being a laughing stock of the league as a number 1 seed. Because all these playoffs so far this first round has proven that the regular season don't mean shit. The teams we thought was really good ain't or got bounced out, and the rest is just showing like, oh, you could turn. There's another switch. Moving forward, like
because playoff basketball is different. It's different from regular season basketball.
This much different. Even in the NFL,
it's a completely different game because you're more lenient on the matchups versus the talent, game plans versus just a random Thursday night, and you're seeing somebody 4 to 7 times. That's a completely different game than regular season basketball.
But we based expectations off of seeding, bro, and that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get to. Is like, even like I know it's a different sport, but even in the NFL, bro, the seeding tells you something. Granted, we know there's upsets and all that. But seeding does tell you something. Like the fact that Boston got knocked out by Philly with Embiid missing the first 2 games.
But like Lou said, it's big. The matchups is huge. If you come back when Embiid came back with force. That was the difference in him and most. You know, you add a player like Embiid coming into a series, that changes the whole dynamic. So you would have been a 3-1 lead if Embiid was playing the whole time.
But you can say that, but again, Boston was up 3-1 and Orlando was up 3-1 on the 1 and 2 seeds that we thought the first round was not even a problem. We worried about the other shit. People was over here complaining about the Knicks, and it's like, nigga, Detroit don't know what the fuck going on.
I think it's always going to be basketball. Go ahead, FIFA.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think basketball always is roster. In the playoffs, it's rosters and it's the best players. In the Philly series, Embiid came back and was the best player in the series. Mm-hmm. In Orlando series, Cade is the best player in that series. If your best player comes to play 4 out of 7 games, you're going to win. That's how it works in basketball.
Tell Denver that.
I think that I think they got a guy in Paulo. As a matter of fact, honestly, I think Paulo, Wagner, and Bane. We can talk about whether or not they complement each other, but they were injury prone this whole season. We know that Wagner got hurt, and we saw the impact that had, which allowed Detroit to claw back into the game. He tried to play in Game 7, and for a while they hung in there, but it was rough. But I like what they have with Paulo. I think he showed a lot of heart, will, and determination to win. I think, and maybe Nick mentioned it, bro. Y'all sit here bringing up Derek White. Bane is the motherfucker we got to talk about, because when Bane started the season, this series, he was hitting shots here and there, and he was kind of feeling himself. And then he just went. He was scared to shoot in Game 7. He was scared to shoot and do anything. And Paulo needed some help. And Paulo, he had like 19 in the first quarter, something like that. And Bane was nowhere to be found.
Look, Game 6 to me was the most pivotal game in this series because
I agree. They looked like they lost the series when they walked off the court.
Or first of all, they got booed off the court at home. That's your last memory of your last home game. That's number one. Number two,
That's crazy.
there was a series where Bane missed 3 threes. They got 2 offensive rebounds, and this dude missed 3 threes on that possession, bro. After that, they were 1 for 20 something in the fourth quarter. It was horrible. And here's the thing. When I say that Banchero is not a number one, what I'm saying is not the best player. I'm not saying not the number one scoring option. The number one scoring option on a team isn't always your best player. He could definitely be a number one scoring option. He averaged 26. But then, in my opinion, and like just said, and I agree, it's the point guard position that's lacking because it's getting those others easy buckets. Banchero is a LeBron Melo hybrid. Big as hell, can play in a phone booth, you know what I'm saying, got a midi, and then he's big. He could finish through contact. He's a nice weapon, Ken, but he's not your best player, in my opinion, because the best player doesn't lose game 6. Ken, and think about this. Is he getting crucified for it? The best players do. He's not one of those guys, Ken. I like Banchero, but he's not the guy. He could be your number one scoring option, but he's not the guy that's going to take you to the promised land. Because in the last 4 years, he's been a first-round exit. Now, he's not to the playoffs, but he's been a first-round exit, Ken, every year. And I also understand his team is not that great. But the great ones overcome. He hasn't. And we know what he is. This is year 4, going on year 5. If he was going to ascend to anything else, we would have seen it already.
You said 3 to 5. He got 1 more year. He got that 5th-year option.
Right.
We'll see. I think he is what he is.
I gained a lot of respect. I gained a lot of respect from Paolo. I think more so like what you were saying is like becoming more consistent at being the number one option, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it. Like or just somebody, just somebody who's the leader of that team, where it's like if shit is hitting the fan, I'm gonna set the tone. Yeah. And I think he showed me in this series that he can do that against a tenacious defense. And Orlando overall proved that they're the way they've been trying to construct this team does have some highlights to it. It's just that if you don't have anybody generating offense, bro, it's just it just doesn't make sense.
It's very
it's like having a car with no wheels. It's like I see what you're doing, but you can't go nowhere.
Well, let's move on because and you know what? Also, at one point, it looked like I looked over. They had a cutaway of Mosley on the sideline. Look, he was dancing. He wasn't worried at all. He was just
he had a blunt. He had a blunt and a bitty waiting for him in Orlando. Boy, he was like, nigga, I can give a fuck.
That unemployment check is already in the mail. He knew it was coming.
Yeah, he was happy they lost. But anyway, but nah, Nick, I'm with you, man. I think throughout the season, Paulo had some concerning moments, but I'm with you. I did gain some respect for Paulo. Whether he be's a number one or if we're gonna contextualize it to number one on a championship team, TBD. We'll see. But let's move on to the last game 7 we had.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is only $2.50. So you can get your gym gains on or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We have the Toronto Raptors, who were not anyone's favorite to make it out of the first round, but made a compelling case that they still have a lot of talent on their roster. What should they do this offseason to get over the hump next year? They got to get better players.
They ran into a lot of what the biggest thing is their best player didn't play in game 7. So once again, they hung in there as long as they could with Cleveland. In that game 7, they played great in the first half, but I was like, they're not the better team in this matchup, and it showed in that second half. And it was downhill from there for Cleveland. But you take Brandon Ingram off the floor, that's one less option that they have. They were a smaller team, but they were scrappy. If nothing else, he had those guys out there scrapping. They were playing their hearts out. And I appreciated watching their basketball team play in this series because they should have been out of it a long time ago. But
yeah, it's like all the other pieces around Barnes and RJ, because I still don't think RJ all that, but it's how everybody else is just like there.
Yeah.
So so I think roster construction, I don't know what that looks like. Barnes has some really good moments, of course. RJ had the Kawhi game winner, but when I'm looking at everybody else and I'm watching, I'm like, I didn't really see anybody I felt comfortable with that looked reliable.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had a rookie out there that was doing fairly well in moments, but he's a rookie, CMB or whatever his name. I think his name is CMB or whatever.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched a lot of Toronto. I mean, who cares? It's freaking Toronto. But what I saw, I mean, it wasn't all that impressive. I will say the fact that they pushed the 7 says a lot, but I think they really got some work to do in terms of putting together a competitive team.
I think them pushing it to 7 said a lot more about Cleveland than Toronto. Because outside of Scotty, I did like the Scotty Barnes had like kind of like his mini breakout moment in the playoffs, but watching RJ Barrett chuck so many shots up and get the one that sends it to Game 7 was like, you want us to see more of this? It was like, bruh, like I see why the Knicks gave up on him, and you would think he would play harder because he playing at home because he's from Canada, I believe. I don't really have much to say about Toronto. They got Scotty Barnes, and he's gonna be happy playing for the Miami Heat one day. But for now, he got to be in Toronto.
Yeah, I love Scotty Barnes' game too. Though he's the ideal point forward. The ball in his hands, he can make something out of nothing sometimes. Because some of those shots he took were some tough shots, and he was making them. So he had all the confidence in the world going against those a much bigger team and much better team at that. You had to know that they were outmanned, and he stood his ground. He really did on both ends of the floor. He was rebounding well. He played a really, really good game, if you ask me. Like I said, they just didn't have enough guns to keep up, and it just that shot like Shed had a great first half in Game 7, and he played pretty well all along to be a role player like he is. Really not a starting point guard that was forced to start, and he'd be a great backup. But you're playing guys that would be your starting lineup was like the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th players on most teams. So to hang in there, like you said, it does say a lot more about Cleveland than it does about Toronto. They shouldn't have been there. I think Cleveland took them lightly.
It was a 4-5 matchup. I feel like it was played well. Scotty Barnes, I feel like he did a great job playing both ends. He was good this year. I think he's going to be even better next year. Kind of like a coming out party for him, and he may be able to take Toronto further in the first round. And I feel like Cleveland was supposed to win. This wasn't supposed to go 7. It's supposed to maybe go 5, maybe 6 games. But they did come out in the end. I think Donnie Mitchell did a great job. The bigs finally showed up. I expect more out of Mobley and Allen, especially in this next series if they want to win. But yeah, I wasn't surprised.
Real quick, people. I was gonna be upset if Donnie Mitch lost to a nigga with an overbite. But go ahead, Fico.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I think Toronto, in terms of roster construction, they got too many of the same thing. RJ was lanky guy is dating Glorilla. I can't think of his name right now.
Brandon Ingram.
Obviously Scotty Barnes. Like they gotta figure out the true nucleus, because I don't think that this is a true nucleus to really compete for a championship. I think just like a lot of the other teams in the East, and this is why I thought the playoffs was going to be good. Like there's a lot of good players, but they haven't figured out the best versions of themselves yet. As a collective, right? Like Toronto, like Atlanta, like a lot of these other teams. But I was just surprised. I think Spike summed it up, 4-5 matchup, that went a little longer that it shouldn't have.
By the way, Rob keeps saying that we should or keep saying to stop saying the second T.
It's Toronto.
Yeah, no.
What?
Yeah, that's just about right.
It's Toronto. It's not Toronto.
Hey, listen, I'll do it more better, kid. I ain't never got to say it again.
Hey, niggas don't say it.
Gotta say it
Rob,
again.
we could just call y'all Canada. Really, it's Canada.
It's just called the Raptors.
Canada. It's Canada. All right.
Oh, I don't have to say that again. That's word less out of my book.
Yeah, y'all got better stuff to worry about. Y'all worry about letters.
You gotta worry. Iceman dropping next week. Worry about that, Canada.
Oh man.
Mama call him Toronto. I'm gonna call him Toronto. How about that, Rob?
All right, man. Let's move on. All right. Moving on with our recap of the first round of the 2026 NBA playoffs, we will now shift our focus to the Western Conference as the Los Angeles Lakers proved all their doubters wrong, except Spike, and defeated the Houston Rockets in 6 games, 5 of those without Kevin Durant playing. No surprise. What were your standout moments from that series, and do the Lakers have a shot at upsetting the heavily favored Oklahoma City Thunder?
Hell no.
I have no standout moments from that series.
The standout moment is LeBron James.
Yeah,
thank you.
The standout moment was Bronny getting playoff minutes.
Yeah. I think Bronny scored 5 in that game. They won by 4.
They overhyped that lob though.
I mean, it's going to be iconic
again.
Yeah, it's
you'll
iconic.
never see that again.
It's iconic now.
Ken.
Even though it's a cheap.
Did we even want to see it then?
It's cheap, but it's iconic.
Hey man, Bronny is solid, Ken. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not hating on Bronny. No, I'm not one of the Bronny haters. I'm just saying, I just felt like when they said, I thought I was going to see him catching the ball and yamming it. I was like, that's it? Like, all right.
It's only because his pops to it. That's why. It's just because
he's 42 years old. Well, no, it was Bronny that got the dunk, wasn't it? That's what y'all talking about.
It wasn't even a dunk.
Layup.
Mm.
It was like an up and over rate layup.
Yeah, I
mean,
it ain't nothing.
The thing that stand out most to me about this series is Kevin Durant has let another team down.
They keep believing in him.
They keep buying this bullshit, Sheldon. Like
I told him.
Y'all was talking about sales. I don't know what y'all was talking about when I got on here, but I bet Kevin Durant would be great in sales because he gets that bullshit off. He been getting it off for years. He nigga been getting it off for the last decade. And LeBron, I don't think they're gonna be OKC. I highly doubt it. But even if they're competitive, man, I still think people think that LeBron's legacy can't get any better. If he's competitive in this series, it's something to be said about that.
What's competitive to you?
6 games.
Okay.
Because they shouldn't go 6. Is Luka coming back?
I don't think so.
He's questionable, so I think he's probably going to try to give it a shot. But
it depends. What's on the menu?
It's Oklahoma, kid. You could have a.
The restaurants ain't good enough in Oklahoma.
Wow,
hey, listen, I don't know what's Oklahoma known for, Lou, besides racism.
cows and shit.
That sounds like burgers and prime rib to Luka. That's the last thing he need to eat.
This one might be a sweep.
They was fighting early, but they down 10 now.
Yeah, this might be a sweep. I'm saying that because I just don't see how they can keep up with the talent of OKC. I just don't see it. And I don't believe in Ayton and Smart to do what they did to Houston.
Ayton don't believe in himself.
No, he don't.
He played like he don't believe in himself.
He don't. And this ain't Houston. Sengun was not a good matchup for Ayton and those guys. So I just don't see.
Sengun might be trash, bro.
It's looking like it.
Nah, I ain't going.
It's looking like it, kid. I believe in Sengun early, but he let me down.
I did too, Shelton. But I don't know, Nick. It ain't looking good, bro.
Bro, it was because he gave his all that game that they lost. What was that? What game was that? Was that game 4 or it was something like it was game 3 or something like that? It was they were in Houston, and I think it went to OT. But they should have won that game because he played his ass off, and then they gave it up when they had it was like 30 seconds left, and they was up by 6, and they somehow went into OT or lost that game. Either way. Kevin Durant was hurt, so that's the reason why he wasn't effective in this series. Otherwise, I think, again, some of us picked Houston to win. Vegas did. Going into it. They didn't know that Kevin Durant was going to miss 90% of it. I think Houston will figure things out. They just fucked up on not having a point guard. But the Lakers, I don't know if you could say they overachieved because – again, if both teams were healthy, I feel like people would have picked LA. And because only LeBron was really healthy, people picked LA. And I think now you're going into OKC, the expectations are in hell for LA. So a game 6 in what would that be? That would probably be back in LA. Yeah, game 6 in LA would make it seem like we got to the Western Conference Finals because that's the closest they're gonna get.
See, I would have thought even with even with Kevin Durant, I still would have thought Houston would have had more talent because I'm looking at you losing 2 of your 3 top players for LA. We're playing without. If you told me you're going to be playing without Luka and
Austin Reeves,
I would have figured Houston would have had enough talent to still get through that. Because I didn't believe in anybody for.
I don't trust, but I mean, again, that would have been the team like they had last year, and I wouldn't trust that team without a go-to scorer. That's the whole reason why you got KD to close out games. And you saw in games that they were up with 30 seconds left, they couldn't close it out. You know what I'm saying? It was like that was the reason why you got him. And if LeBron is the only superstar in between both squads, I'm going to have to side with LeBron.
Yeah, you side with Bron.
Yeah.
My brother was telling me too. He was saying how Van Vliet missing was huge for Houston this year. That was a pivotal part of their season and what they were not able to do without him leading that squad. And I was like, hey, I didn't think he was that valuable. I mean, I knew he was valuable, but just not that valuable. But he was, and it was evident.
He got hella coaching experience because he was on the sideline trying to talk them boys up as much as he could. But yeah.
But yeah, that was a rough one. On to the next one.
The Lakers have no shot in this series. No shot.
I don't see it. I don't see how they can overcome. OKC is on a mission. There's only a couple teams that can stop them.
There's only one team that can stop them, Sheldon. There's only one team.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah, we're going to get to that one, too.
Look, here's the thing. The Rockets should be ashamed of themselves. Ain't no way in hell they should have lost to a 41-year-old man. I'm sorry. A 41-year-old man with a bunch of C and D role players. JJ Redick was right. He can't catch a ball to save his life. Ayton forgot how to play the game. You know, he used to hit the jumper. He don't even hit the jumper anymore. They throwing him lob passes. He fumbling the ball. Like, he looks awful. He wasn't to the point I had to hit up B because B's very objective. I'm like, yo, was he always this bad? Like, what? This ain't the Ayton I remember. Old ass Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, who had a breakout game, and Rui how you say it, Hachimura?
Hot sauce.
Yeah.
Well, he was definitely hot sauce in game 6. But he's a very solid guy, but he'll go missing. But nevertheless, it was LeBron and a bunch of guys out there versus the Rockets' complete team. Nick,
I'm not doing that with you, Ken. I'm not doing that with you because you over here diminishing LeBron, talking about just trying to call him as a 41-year-old man. No, when I get to 41, I will be an average man. LeBron is not an average man. Just like Denzel wasn't an average old man in The Equalizer. Everybody thought he was until they got fucked up. All right. LeBron, no one has that. Everybody respects LeBron because they saying this nigga's still averaging 20 plus, 5 plus, 5 plus at 40. And he's been doing that for the last 20 years.
23 years. Yeah. And have we ever seen a 40 plus year old be the best player in a playoff series?
No.
Look,
That's
did
never
we get
happened.
into this big argument about how LeBron wasn't even the number one option on this team
He is
and how
now.
he's this that?
Everybody hurt, kid.
I understand, but the
so
Rockets
you know-
should have won this game.
So you recognize injury, Lou. You
what,
understand that
KD?
injury. You understand what injury does to a team, right?
Who believe you? Oh, you believe KD, so he can sell you shit too. This nigga got a
KD
history.
played in the game and lost.
He was hurt,
Right,
man.
because he didn't want to be
He
there.
was there.
Like he didn't want to be in the last 5 places he been in. So yeah, he hurt.
And y'all
Quote,
keep
unquote.
talking about Fred. How many games Fred Van Fleet played this year?
Don't do that, kid.
I'm
don't have
asking because they
football.
keep
They
bringing
do
up
that.
his fucking name
Hold on,
in the chat.
Because they didn't have a
Wait,
backup
hold
for
on. Let's stay on KD for just a second. What's the indictment on KD is the fact that Phoenix this year made the playoffs. That's the indictment on KD. It's nothing that he did with or without Houston, or really what he did without Houston, what he did in Phoenix. Phoenix had the better squad. KD, D-Book, Bradley Beal, all of it, and they didn't even make the playoffs.
Bruh, the Suns made the play in. They
Don't
just so
matter.
happened. They just so
It don't
happened.
matter.
No, I'm
It
just saying,
don't matter.
You making
They
it seem like
playoffs
they,
this year and they did it last year.
making it seem like-
is that a fact? Is that a fact?
it's a fact,
Is that
but
a
you
fact?
you
All
leaving
right.
out
Look,
context.
I don't need a semicolon. I don't need no semicolon.
And they lost to Portland. So
And I don't need no semicolon.
All right. Okay. All right.
That's
The
the
Lakers
indictment on KD.
Lakers looking good. They got to a 4-point game.
All I'm saying is because I'm not. We keep bringing up a guy that hadn't played all year, and they've been winning games without him. Granted, you could say KD was there, but let's not act like they don't know how to play without him. So stop bringing up Fred Van Fleet. He wasn't a factor all season long. The Lakers team were down 2. Well, Austin Reeves did come back for the last 2 games, but nevertheless, they were down 3-0 with an utter collapse in the game that Nick was talking about, which they should have won, which could have changed this series until they were out there doing dumb stuff. But I still think that this team, even without KD, should have beat this Lakers team. I'm sorry, they should have just beat them, But it is what it is. It's an indictment on Ume Doka. It's an indictment on KD, and it's an indictment on Sangoon. All of them. They should have won that series, but they did not. And we're gonna keep going about somebody that should have won a series.
This the headliner, Ken. For those who don't know, they was waiting on this one.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is only $2.50. So you can get your gym gains on or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Oh man. Oh man. The Denver Nuggets, in surprising fashion, lost to the injury-riddled but scrappy Minnesota Timberwolves in 6 games. For the record, they didn't have Anthony Edwards. They also lost the guy that was coming off the bench that became a starter, Anu Dinawosa, whatever his name is. No disrespect, but yeah. And Dante. So they were playing with a bunch of guys too.
Yeah.
And they lost. What should the Nuggets do this offseason to come back strong in that season? And what chance do the Timberwolves have against the Spurs?
I'll say for real quick, FIFO, because I don't get my flowers often on this show, Shelton. I gotta get a bouquet. I had to call 1-800-Flowers, the guys at the door right now.
You gonna let us give it to you, Nick?
Nah, fuck that. I got because I get called out for everything. Y'all don't respect my notes. Y'all don't respect nothing I do when it comes to research. Right? I told y'all niggas every season, Sheldon, I'll be like, why are we not talking about Minnesota? And y'all laugh at me all the time. And whenever it comes to a series, I'm like, this team has always been in the Final Four for the last 2 years. I think I'm gonna give them a chance. And then I'm arguing with FIFO, and he bringing up Christian Braun, Bruce Brown.
I forgot they were on the team.
Them are the two names to go.
I was like, what? And then he was talking about Jamal Murray ball. Hey, shit, he said something funny. He said Jamal Murray ball out in the playoffs. And I was like, what, Mr. Inconsistency? And he was like, "What you mean?"
He balled. He was just it was just out.
Bruh,
There was no balling
from game. I believe game 3 to 6, his points decreased. He scored 12 points in the in game 6, a closeout game. Like, come on, bruh. And then
Jaden McDaniels had him locked up, Nick.
Bruh,
He really did.
the fact that Jaden McDaniels he had a breakout first round series because he ended game 6 with 30. You know what I'm saying? Like he came to play and he called that whole team out and said, "Y'all niggas ain't shit for real." Yeah. That was what I heard, Ken. I know what he said, but that's what I heard.
And that's what he said.
They should have heard.
And for me, it was just like, we got to look at Jamal Murray on this team. I think they're going to try to move him. This is the best time to do it because he made an All-NBA, or he was an All-Star this year. They got to move him, bro, because, bro, you lost to the T-Wolves without Ant playing a majority of this series.
Dang, Jamal Murray he an All-NBA player, like you said. He not going anywhere. He was carrying them for a majority of this season, and sometimes in these games in the playoff. I think this is just a bad matchup.
Bro,
I guess all.
It was a bad matchup until the starters got hurt. What happened after that, Lou?
That was what, game 5, game 6.
That was game 4.
You know what's crazy is I really just, like I said, with that Minnesota team, and I said in the chat, I said that's a team full of dogs. Ain't nobody scared. Like, I think you said it, where Terrence Shannon come from. These dudes, like, I'm talking about these 11 and 12 men out there playing like they've been playing all year. This was just a horrible matchup for Denver. And they are going to have to make some changes because they didn't have – the difference was there's dogs on one side and there's none on the other. Joker is the most talented player in the world, I would say. But it don't mean nothing if you ain't got no dog in you when it matters most. And he played small. Rudy Gobert shut him down and made him play small. And he couldn't do nothing with him. When he was out there, it was like almost like running with 5 guards at times because they weren't rebounding. They weren't doing anything that made a difference on the defensive end. And Minnesota just punched them in the mouth. And they couldn't react. That's all it was. It didn't matter who was out there. I don't care. They proved, because we give Ant a lot of credit, and I'm with you. Ant deserves a lot of credit, but that team was beating people without Ant. So it's like this
Chris
is true. Yeah, it is. It's true. And he got everybody believing. And Nick, you did call it. You said McDaniels. I knew McDaniels was talented, but I never paid him much attention. And I saw them saying it on that one report where he was like, "Man, this dude always been doing that." Ant has always called him out for it. He's always been able to do what he's doing in these playoffs. And it's impressive what they are doing right now. It's a super, super impressive run because they're outmatching everybody. Nobody's a good matchup for Minnesota right now.
I don't even think the conversation is about the stat pattern. Joker. People trying to put him in the conversation with Shaq and Hakeem, and he's top 5 all time and top 10 all time. And now these stats rolling out. He ain't never beat a playoff team to 150 games. You get him here, and Ant ain't playing, and white boy Dante not playing, and now all of a sudden they can't win. And Nick talking about trading Jamal Murray. The problem is the stat pattern. It's the stat pattern that's the problem. The dude that put up triple doubles, and y'all think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he can't win a goddamn playoff series when the star player from other team hurt. We need to be looking at Joker. That's the problem.
Let me ask you something. Has Joker won a ring? Has Joker won a ring? Yes or no? Okay,
got 3 MVPs too.
And how many players don't even have one?
I mean, hey.
Okay, so look, the point is this: is that
track record is getting scary. That's all I'm saying.
Joker's legacy is cemented. He has a ring. He's one of the best to ever do it. He's one of the best to ever do it. How high you put him, that's on you, right? But he's one of the best. He's on that list.
You think he's better than Charles Barkley?
Yes.
He like that. He wasn't this series for sure. Because,
No,
like I said,
100%.
he played small. He just did not. This was not a good series for Joker whatsoever.
Not at all.
Normally when Joker's on the court, he makes a huge difference, plus minus in their favor. I ain't seen none of that. It wasn't no advantages.
But I don't disagree.
Just
But
stats.
Joker still played good enough for the team to kind of uplift and beat a team without the void of their superstar and the void of their arguably second most important player that's not named Edwards. You're saying in terms of Dante DiVincenzo. So look, at the end of the day, I agree with Shelton. Denver just got, like, you know, in the words of 12 Kyle, they got lemon booty. You can't. This can't happen. This can't happen. Those guys, their guy ain't there. We're supposed to knock him out. That's the mentality of a champion, and obviously they don't have that. Nick, I don't disagree with you as well. Where they do got to make some moves. You know, as much as I like Jamal Murray, he's been co-captain, and they're one of the best 1-2 punches in the NBA over the last decade. Things may need to change. Whether they keep Jamal or trade him. Aaron Gordon, even though I think he's definitely very important, I think he's played his way. I called him out years ago, you know, me saying, I don't know why the hell they made the move for him, but he's improved and he's actually one of their best players. So I do think that they need to start making a move and be a little bit more slashy, because it's just, you run it back, it's going to happen again. If you run it back, I think the league has caught up. I think that they're not as dynamic as they once were. And I think that there are multiple teams in the Western Conference that can outplay them. They're no longer the cream of the crop.
Aaron Gordon has to go. He's too injury prone.
He's their best wing. He's their best wing defender, and he finally got his jump. He's finally caught up to the NBA with his jump shot. So it's like him being out this series actually was a game changer too. I mean, granted,
right?
He doesn't equal out Ant. But his presence on the defensive end does, because especially when they called him out, but they kept attacking the lane. The same way they did with the Spurs right yesterday. They were attacking because it's like, bro, we ain't got nobody to worry about.
Right. But absolutely, and I agree with you. He is that, but his availability should be his best ability, and he's never available. If you look back the last few years when it matters most, Gordon is on the sidelines in street clothes. So you really got to start getting young at those positions. I don't think you touch Jamal Murray or Joker, to be honest. You stick with those two, but you surround them with players that you need some dogs, because you know what they're gonna give you. They're gonna give you scoring, not much defense, but both of them can score in the clutch when need be. You surround them with better role players. Braun, which I ain't gonna talk about it too much, Ken, because I know he ain't that big of a factor, but Braun had a lot of open shots that he wasn't even looking at the basket. He was probably the worst one out there on the floor several times, and that made a difference because those shots would have been taken by somebody else, anybody.
Guess how much he making next season, Shelton?
A ton. I know it's
too much. Too much.
That dude was the worst thing. He had no business on the floor. But you got to get some dogs in there around those guys, man. Some younger guys, and put some talent around them. But I do think you get off Aaron Gordon at this point.
Shelton, typically with when Denver's playing at a championship level, what happens in the game is Braun, all of those other guys, they get their hands in the passing lane. They make championship plays. They not like we didn't see that extra effort. We didn't see those possessions. We didn't see that chemistry, that execution down the stretch that you typically see from a championship level team. We just didn't see that.
They're not a championship team.
Obviously, they're not. Obviously,
they haven't been for the last couple of years.
Yeah, they're not.
But y'all still keep trying to make them championship teams.
Yeah, we just going to
because they have a top 3 best player in the NBA.
They don't have
not
shit.
Contender.
They don't have shit.
You just a hater.
Joker ain't what y'all. Joker ain't what. Don't be running now. Joker ain't what y'all thought he was. Let's just be real. Finally the world is catching up. What they say, Nick? Dark horse contender. Ain't that the word? Oh man, nobody want to play the Denver Nuggets. Oh, look out for the Denver Nuggets. All y'all picked the damn Denver Nuggets. I got called a goddamn racist because I picked Minnesota in this series. That's how bad it was. The whole damn chat.
It
You still are racist, but
Nah, it was the fact that
That ain't the determining factor, Ken.
Jalen thought that you was only saying Wolves and whatever because you was feeling sad for me for picking the Wolves in 7. And I was like, but it's hard to say anything really negative about Joker because you look at his numbers.
It's not.
We got
But-
to, bro.
I'm
Because
saying
nobody else is, Nick. That's all I'm saying.
It's hard to say that when you look at his numbers, and like FIFA mentions, he got a ring in recent time, but so does Giannis, and we don't talk about Giannis in the same light. Even though when he's healthy, he's putting up not similar numbers but gaudy numbers, to where we arguably think that he's somewhere in the top 5 for the last 8 years. I would say maybe even top 3 when he was winning titles. When he won a title. So I think the conversation between Giannis and Joker is a lot more leveled than we're saying Joker's all the way up here and everybody kind of got to catch up. Because now he's not considered the best player in the game. Best players in the game, like FIFO said, they don't lose in round 1. They win, and he lost. So I think that we are just going to have a more honest conversation about Joker because his ass, I can't say his ass is on the clock because you can argue Luka is more on the clock than Joker because he already got the title, so he got over the hump. But seeing how the next 2 seasons play out for the Nuggets, that's gonna be very interesting because I think he's also in a contract extension year too. So if he don't take that, that's gonna say a lot about whether he's asking for more money or saying like maybe I think Denver's past me.
So I'm with you on Luka because the fact is Joker does have a ring. So he's good there. He has a ring. But the other thing is that he ain't done shit. Like he's a 3-time MVP that has 1 ring that keeps getting put out. He got punked and bullied.
it is.
Rudy Gobert he made him look so bad. He was scared of him like Rudy had COVID. Like that's how it was. It went all the way back to 2020. He wanted no part of him, and it was so bad, man. And the fact that Jaden McDaniels and one of you guys said they need some dogs, called them out. We keep bringing this up because I think we need to keep bringing this up because it is a very pivotal moment in the series, and it's going to go down as one of the top playoff quotes in history because he said they're all ain't shit. And when you lose 3 key players. Even I last week when I saw all of them out, I was like, oh, well, shit. There's no way that Minnesota should win this series. And yet they got smacked by Shannon Jr., who was blowing by all of them. The only reason he doesn't play is because they were saying his defense is terrible.
Yeah.
But they had to put him on the court, and he made a difference.
Bruh,
Look,
he was shot out of a cannon.
Every single time he gets there,
Single
time,
yeah,
bro.
He can hoop.
Yeah, Joker's soft. Joker wants things his way. He hasn't been living up to the expectations as the best player in the league. He's just not who y'all thought he was. And that is what it is. Nick, I didn't even know you picked Minnesota to win in 7.
Yeah.
Or at least I didn't even hear you. All I heard was everybody else going with Denver.
Yeah, Nick was right on a few things this weekend.
I thought I was the only one that picked Minnesota.
No,
but
broke clock right twice a day.
But and
it is.
So yeah, well, whatever. But and that's Joker. Jamal Murray, and y'all know Jamal Murray is my guy. I say Jamal Murray is the reason why they won that title, not Joker anyway. And he just completely disappeared. Like he didn't know what to do. He got put in Rikers Island, bro. Jaden McDaniels just couldn't get shit off.
Nothing.
It was awful. But man, I don't want to hear shit about Joker anymore. I don't want to Shelton no more. Man, Joker's amazing. Ted. Leave all that shit.
Yeah, keep
that to yourself.
Keep
all that shit. I don't want to hear shit about Joker anymore.
It's
another title.
Ken, it's just hard for you. It's hard for me to hear you say this nigga ain't shit or he ain't done shit. When you followed up by saying he's a 3-time MVP and 1-time NBA champion, and I think he might have won Finals MVP too. It's just kind of like,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but you just focus on this series. Don't talk about the big picture.
I don't care about his resume, bro. You know why, Nick? You know why? Because here's the thing. Think about, like, I don't even know what the media said about it. So, yeah, the resume is nice, but so is Giannis' resume, right?
Mhm.
So, my thing is,
And Derek
you're
White.
talking about a guy that people heralds and talk about on a level with all of the other, like, elite players. And, yeah, you look at the stats, you look at the resume and all this shit. Yeah, it looks great. Cool. But if there was anyone else, KD, Steph, guys that we hold to that standard of greatness, I don't know what ESPN or First Things First or whatever they were saying. I don't even know if they even shitted on Joker in the way that a guy with his resume in a situation like this deserves to be shitted on. That's my thing. It's just like, all right, yeah, he lost. What? Come on, man. Or even if Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, the Celtics, or look at how, and I don't even want to bring up his name because he ain't done shit either. Well, he ain't done shit at all. But yeah, it's just my whole thing is like a 3-time MVP, a Finals MVP, and all this, and he just lose like that. No, that's unacceptable.
I think what it is that I think people are just starting to get to this conversation because this is the first big ugly playoff loss that they've had. You know what I'm saying?
It's not. Remember Game 7. Remember Game 7 against Minnesota. Right. They blew a 20-point lead in that series at home. This has happened before, Nick.
Well, I was saying that was second round, and it was against again. I'm just saying it was second round because the reason why I'm saying like people bring up Giannis stuff is because he lost to Miami. He lost to like Boston on some like it was like there's a bunch of series you can go on like okay. It's just now that people are now starting to count up jokers is what I'm saying. That conversation is finally starting where it's like, hold on, this nigga really ain't as dominant as we've been saying he is over the last few seasons, especially when it comes to the playoffs. So, yeah. And then I think last year they lost to OKC in 7 or something like that. So it was just it's kind of like, okay, you lost to the team that ended up winning the whole thing. So it's just like they were excuses at first. But this one is just more like not only did you lose in the first round, but you lost to a team that didn't even have Ant for like 2.5 games. Like
right. This one was it is. I was gonna say this one was ugly, regardless as to how you shake it. You know, this should have been it should have been a situation where you dominated that Game 7, or it shouldn't have made it. You know, you should have dominated this series, if you ask me. So you're right, Ken. To me, those are empty calories. He's a walking triple-double. Now, he's going to do that regardless. But Joker needs a lot more help to be great, if that makes sense. He needs those pieces around him to be better, to be great. He's not one of those guys that's just going to drag his guys along and get to the championship. He needs talent around him in order to be successful.
But to that point, Sheldon, he hasn't beaten a 50-plus win team in the playoffs. That's the most craziest stat I've ever seen probably in the last 3 years, because you would have thought that being an NBA champion, you face competition. Like,
right?
How did they win that? Who did they?
I gotta go back.
Yeah, because they did beat the Miami Heat. That was with the 8th seed that made it to the finals. So they definitely wasn't that. That's one team out of the other 3 or whatever. It's like. What the what?
It might be a fake ass title, Nick. It might be like, it might be like Kawhi.
It came after the bubble season.
They played the Heat in the finals.
Yeah, that was the Heat. That was the title.
Yeah,
get him the fuck out of here.
You done with it?
It's over with. Giannis better than him.
All right, man. Let's move on.
Now at McDonald's, a sausage McMuffin is only $1.50. So stop dreaming about breakfast sausage and go get it. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
But y'all soft. now that we are officially in the conference finals in both the Eastern and Western conferences, let's get the picks on record. In the East, who do you all have winning the New York Knicks versus Philadelphia 76ers series? And in how many games? Continuing with the Eastern Conference matchups, who do you all have winning the Detroit Pistons versus Cavaliers series? And in how many games? So let's start with New York and Philly.
So you know what I'm about to say.
Yeah, I know. Knicks in 6 is what Nick got. give me Philly in 7. Sounds crazy, right?
It does.
I got the
with
Knicks in
Celtics.
5. I got the Knicks in 5.
Philly in 7. Philly
Philly in 7. I'm telling y'all.
On the road.
On the road.
Mm-hmm.
In New York.
At Madison Square Garden.
They just did it in Boston.
They did. And we just saw
That's a different kind of garden, FIFA.
we just
Hey,
saw
I understand, but they were going against history. You heard the stats
Yeah.
I gave you.
They was going against bums.
My thing
They
is
was going
that
against
first
history.
game. Now we look at that first game and we see like a totally dominant performance by the Knicks, but they shot. You can't, and there's no way you're gonna shoot the ball.
Hey,
like that.
Shelton, the last 3 games, I believe, the Knicks, going back to I think game 5 or whatever. Yeah, game 5 of the Hawk series. Knicks have shot 57% as a team, and then the next game after that was like 59% as a team, and then this past game it was like 63% as a team. Like that's crazy, and they won by 25 plus spread in each of those games.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, whatever they doing is good with me. I know it's not sustainable, but
The best thing that ever happened was Cat getting in there foul trouble and having to sit down. That's probably the best thing because it relied on Brunson, and Brunson got hot and took over. So that was the saving grace. If Cat was out there, they would have been trying to get him the ball, and it wouldn't have worked out as well. I don't think.
I don't know, but that Cat helped them get past the Hawks, who I wouldn't want to talk about that.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
No, they had the strippers out there playing it.
Yeah.
I was on the bench.
The way they got undressed that game.
And they had the wrong kind of strippers out there. They had all the Queen's men.
That was bad.
Bruh. Hey, kid, I was gonna give you your flowers for CJ because he was balling the first 3 games. That nigga clocked out quick.
As soon as he said he wasn't the villain and he loved his wife and kids, it was over with.
That was the end of it.
It was over with.
He started showing as much enthusiasm as that employee FIFO saw with his headphones in. Like that nigga was gone in the series, bro.
Yeah. Okay. This is
Who you got,
tough.
Ken? Don't be doing that. Go ahead. Say what your Hawks is gone, so you ain't got nobody to root for. So this is now basketball analyst. That's what I need.
I like anarchy, which the Hawks beating the Knicks would have been perfect, but I got enough. Whew. I think Sis was gonna do it in 6, man.
Sixers.
I think the Knicks have had 2 great offensive games. I think at some point that shit ain't gonna last. Sixers just came off we're just talking about game 1. They just came off a grueling series. So I'm gonna say that's what happened. I think they'll make their adjustments.
Yeah,
if Embiid stays healthy, I think it'll be a fun series seeing him and Cat go against another. And I think they have offensive firepower to hang in there with them. It's just is PG gonna step up?
My thing with this one, Sheldon, I gotta give myself flowers again because I was talking about Philly for a minute, saying like, bro, this team get right, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, and
you did.
It happened in a way that because I wanted Boston based off what I was seeing, Sheldon. Once I saw Jason Tatum was limping, I was like, please, Jaylen Brown score 50 and let us just sweep you to the Eastern Conference Finals. Right. But it didn't work out that way. I'm nervous about this series, even though game 1 was it let me sleep at night, but it doesn't ease my whole like concern because Philly is just they got enough. Now they don't have a bench at all. They just run 6-7 deep. So if you can tire them out, then you gotta. I think that's what because the Knicks they go like 10 deep sometimes. So I think it's more about who has the better bench in this series, but the Knicks cannot fuck around with this team. You literally just saw Boston do that. I think that they're talented enough to get him in 5, but I'm just gonna say 6 just to be safe because I do respect Maxey, who is their best player. I think what they need to do is work the offense through him if they want a chance in this series. Because game 1 proved that if you just try to make it more Joel Embiid centric, you slow everything down, and I think you just fuck with that flow. And PG he's trying to come back, Ken. I don't know if that's gonna last, but PG I'm gonna shout out him for what I can.
Yeah, that game 6 he had was good when it looked like the old PG, if I'm remembering that game correctly. I don't know. I'm just wondering if, real quick, FIFO, if even myself, like I'm thinking about the old Philly teams and not like this current version of Philly from what I see out there when they're playing. Maxey's electricity, Edgecombe coming off the bench, and he got some moxie to him too. Like he got an attitude, to him that I like. And it's really just see what Embiid does. So is he tired of going out like early? Like, what is his desire? What is his motivation? He had motivation against Boston. What is his motivation to get now? And will he stay healthy enough to do it?
His motivation it should be he can't stand Cat because he hate Cat.
And in this series, that's exactly what it should be because he always dominates Cat. But look, I think in this series, it comes down to this. They can't allow Brun to be Brun. because when you allow because what was it like through 3 quarters, this man was like 11 out of 17 for 30 some points through 3 quarters. You can't allow Jalen Brunson to be that efficient to get whatever he wants, to get the float game, the flotation device, off and inflated. Like, you can't do that. You can't play against New York that way because that's the best version of them. That's the way that they're built. This is like, some years ago with Isaiah Thomas, the lefty, you'll say with Boston. Like, you just can't allow the little man score first point guard dominate you scoring first. You got to hunt him on defense. You got to tire him out on that side of the ball. Maxey has his work cut out for him. Now, here's the thing. I think that you should slow this tempo down. I don't think you should try to outrun New York the whole game. Now, obviously, this is basketball and it's a game of runs. I'm not saying walk the ball up at 99% of the time. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you should want a slower pace. You want to make sure that the big man Embiid gets the ball and they play through Embiid in this series. Why? Because they have a dude called Mitchell Robinson. And you want that man out the game. You want him out the game, and he's a foul guy. He's a guy that averages many fouls per game. Get that man out the game, and it changes the complexity of how you want to attack New York. So to me, you got to attack Mitchell Robinson through Embiid, and you got to attack Brun offensively and defensively. That's the blueprint to beat them.
Which is why I was saying they has to go through Maxey on offense, FIFO, because if it's going through Embiid, Brunson will never have a switch where he has to guard Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna make Embiid play at the top of the free throw line or like in the paint, and that's just going to be him trying to do his point forward thing, similar like Cat. But that doesn't really help Maxey get off, and it doesn't help you like do what the Hawks did and like try to hit up Brunson as a cone.
It does help you. It does help Maxey get off because look, playing off the ball doesn't mean that you get the ball. It means that you make the defense focus on the best player on the court. The best player on the court is Joel Embiid.
I disagree. I got Maxey over Embiid, bro.
I think Joel, when healthy, is still the best player on this team.
But he's not even. But he's not healthy, so that's why I'm going with Maxey.
But the thing is that okay, you have to stationarily double team Embiid. Embiid's right here. You got by the time the ball gets to him, you most likely have to double team him. Right? He didn't even make a move. Maxey, you're not going to double team him as soon as he gets the ball because he's playing more downhill. Maxey at his best is playing with speed, hitting you with a cross, one gear, boom, gone at the rim. That's the best version of Maxey. You can play that off of Embiid. You can create mismatches without the ball having to dribble, is what I'm saying. Is that you can play off of Embiid and out, move the right rotation. Now Max gets it on the go. He gets to the rock. I mean, he gets a rack. That's what I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, you're saying Maxey first. I'm saying start with Embiid.
I always start with
Start
Embiid.
inside out. That's the easiest way.
Even not healthy, still even not healthy is still Embiid. I don't care what nobody say. Embiid is the engine that's gonna make that team go, regardless. Maxey does have to match Brunson though. He has to try at least to match him at some point. But Embiid is the X factor. That's your number one option no matter what. Because he can get, if nothing else, Embiid can get fouled to get to that free throw line. And that's what he did. That's what should have helped him in this past game. But like I said, New York shot the lights out of the basketball. But he drew early fouls. You had 2 quick fouls on Mitchell and on Cat to start the game. They were down to their third string center at the end of the first half. And you could have kept that going if they hadn't went on such a run and got so much momentum. But you're going to have to take advantage of that early. Get the ball to Joel Embiid. Make Cat have to play defense early and go from there. That's the way they'll win this series. That's the only way to win this series.
All right, let's try to move it along. We're coming up on time here.
Now at McDonald's, a sausage McMuffin is only $1.50. So stop dreaming about breakfast sausage and go get it. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
So Cavs, Pistons.
Cavs in 7.
I got Pistons in 6.
Pistons in 6. I'm with Shelton.
Pistons in 6.
Yeah.
Game 2. They got to come out strong in game 2.
Ken, I think Ken said in the chat that them boys for the Cavs just too soft, man. They're just that's all that height for nothing. Like, come on, man.
Pistons. They were tested. I mean, so were the Cavs, but I think it was different though. That
it was
a
different.
Physical series, and now you're going into this. They could probably get whatever they want. Yeah,
but they got to outscore them
or play good defense. But look, if Tobias Harris keeps playing like this, then they'll be fine because I don't think we're going to see Duran anymore. The rest of the NBA.
Hey, Ken. People in Philly for like 6 years were saying the same thing. If Tobias Harris kept playing like this,
B said it best. B said we're not gonna get this Tobias Harris every game, so it don't even matter.
He showed up when they needed him the most.
And for the first time in his life, he did.
Duncan Robinson played good too. So the best thing for them is the fact that we know on the perimeter the Cavs ain't gonna play no defense, so you ain't no pressure out there at the top. So all you got to do is get open, make your shots, get the ball to Cade, attack, and they should be fine in this series. I don't see – I mean, D. Mitch is going to do what D. Mitch does, but I don't trust James Harden to do nothing no different than he does. So I don't see how Cleveland can keep up.
Yeah. Well, Harden played well in Game 7, but I guess he was like it's Toronto. So
he didn't play. He didn't. They were saying that they talk about he blended in. People couldn't even tell that he didn't play a good game. So he got lucky in that Game 7.
All right, moving to the West. Well, maybe he just added shit at the end of the game because I did get away from him because I thought Toronto was going to win that game. They came out a little hot, and then they just got cold at the wrong time, and the Cavs went on that run, and they couldn't recover. In the West, who do y'all have winning the OKC Thunder versus LA Lakers series, and how many games?
OKC in 5. Yeah.
Yeah, OKC in 5.
Maybe
I'm going OKC 5.
That's out of respect for Bron. That's
right. That is the only reason. Yeah, because they giving it their best shot tonight.
So, Lou, you said that it would be to LeBron's credit if they get to 6. What if they get swept? Then what are we saying?
I think it's going to be a sweep.
They should have got swept.
I'm just saying, but what are we? So that don't stain LeBron.
Yeah, nothing changes.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
They shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, Nick.
But
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying, but for his
If
legacy,
Kevin
that's another swoop
Kevin
on his
Durant
record.
didn't sell.
No,
If
it's
Kevin
not. It's
Durant
not.
didn't sell snake oil, then they wouldn't even be here. But Kevin Durant is
Wow.
a snake oil salesman, and now the Lakers in the second round with a 43-year-old LeBron as their best player. So it means nothing to LeBron's legacy if they lose.
nothing.
Yeah, Nick, just because a player doesn't win a championship every single year doesn't mean that their legacy is tarnished because they haven't won. The fact of the matter that LeBron has already won multiple championships cemented his legacy. The fact that he went to the finals for
8
a
straight
decade
finals.
straight cemented his legacy. The fact that he's a multiple time MVP, the fact that he has the scoring championship, the fact that he's played the most minutes, the fact that do I need to keep going, bro?
I didn't
matter
say
if he
nothing
loses
about.
in the second round.
I didn't say.
You're
he
asking
only-
about his legacy.
He
Like
can
this,
only
what do
win.
you mean?
He asked that because I said that. To be fair to Nick, he did ask that because I said that. But I don't think that anything could tarnish his legacy moving forward. It can only move to in the more
I'm
positive
just-
light.
Correct.
I'm just saying. I'm not expecting. I don't think no one expected the Lakers to even get to the title or like the championship round this year. All I'm saying is that him getting swept,
Don't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything because you got
it
to
will
take
be brought. It will be brought up when we think about
No,
his resume
Will
eventually.
not.
No, you
No,
can't because
it will
you
not.
got to take
Hold on,
everything
hold
in
on,
context.
Shelton.
Wait,
Hold on,
23 years
Shelton.
ago.
I've been quiet a lot. I've been letting y'all cook. I've been letting y'all cook because y'all been cooking some good gumbo. So I've been letting y'all cook. But no, Michael Jordan won no playoff series without Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan has plenty of first round exits, and we don't talk about it now because
I ain't
it's not a
even-
positive light. When LeBron retires and he's gone away for a little bit for a couple of years, we're going to highlight the highlights. We're not going to highlight the lowlights.
Yeah, I was going to say I wasn't even going to bring up Jordan at all. What I was going to focus on was Bron. In this series, we don't expect. First of all, he's playing shorthanded. Everything has to be in context. He's definitely playing with a shorthanded team, and they weren't expected even at full strength to beat this OKC team. This OKC team is supposed to walk to the championship. So them being swept by this team, this particular team, ain't no shame in that. He's fighting. That's what you're watching. You want to see if he's going to be competitive. And Bron is doing everything he can to win this game. That's when we talk about, context. Like I said, we look at Joker. We know Joker left some meat on the bone in that series when he was playing. We know he could have done better, and he didn't. Bron is doing everything Bron can do in this series, and it ain't enough, and it ain't gonna be enough. So to me, Bron don't get no slander for this. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think y'all said enough. This is one of the best, if not the best team in the league. So it is.
Yeah.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is only $2.50. So you can get your gym gains on or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Beating KD in the first round was enough.
Oh, okay.
All right, man. Let's go to the one. Continuing with the Western Conference matchups, who do you all have winning the Spurs versus Minnesota Timberwolves series, and in how many games?
Wolves in 7.
Dang. Give me Spurs in 7.
Spurs in 7.
Spurs in 6.
Yeah, niggas.
I guess it's you and I again, bro. I'm going Wolves in 6.
This is my argument for the Wolves in 7. I do respect Wemby. That's why I'm saying 7. I just want to get that out the way. However, the way they played Wemby, bruh, Wemby doesn't know how to play in the playoffs just yet based off how they played Wemby. Because he was exhausted. It was visibly from what I seen. He was exhausted from trying to be hardcore on the defensive end and also still be offensively impactful. To the point where Shelton, he had 11 more points than me and you.
That's crazy, right?
That's crazy. You would never thought his first playoff game where he's getting 30 plus minutes that he's only giving you 11 points. And I think most of that happened in maybe the second half. I know he only had one dunk that put him into the 11. He didn't really do too much this game. But he had 12 blocks, he had a triple-double. But the fact that Minnesota is bro, I don't care how many blocks he get, we still coming through. That's a relentless, that's almost Lou. Y'all watch movies with zombies. You know how they keep coming at you, even if you shoot them and all that stuff. Like it's like, all right, this is terrifying. They don't stop for nothing. Like usually a nigga he stopped running when he gets shot in the head. So I think that the Timberwolves just have this fearlessness that is just so intimidating. And then all them other side niggas that was getting people was yelling at me about Ken that's gonna show up like Darian Fox, Harrison Barnes, and all them motherfuckers ain't do shit that last game at home.
Right,
Minnesota could get blown out next game, and it's fine because they did their job. They stole home court. But the fact that the way they to me, I wish Wemby would have took the last shot. Everybody's telling me that it was a great look and he's their best shooter.
He was.
But Sheldon, did he make the shot?
He didn't. It was crazy though that they had a shot to win that game.
It was a really good look though, Nick.
But
I understand where you're coming from.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like
rob something.
Yeah, it's
that was
like
a really good look.
I'm not saying it was the worst. I'm not saying it was the worst decision made. But when people keep on telling me an excuse more than a reason, like, no, that was actually because he's really the best shooter. I was like, well, if he was the best, he ain't show me then. If you told me, oh, this is the best shooter on the team, and he shooting like that, listen, I'm just saying.
This is why, like, sometimes when you talk basketball, bro, it just sounds fucking crazy.
Because
it's like you spoke. You spoke. I heard you, bro. If you watch the game and you saw he waved them and said, "Don't take the timeout. Let's play it," and they got the shot. And also, if you watch the context of that game, the back and forth of it, especially down the stretch when Minnesota had a little bit of a lead and San Antonio had to hawk them down, bro. Like you are wilding. That is the absolute correct play. Wait, hold on. The correct play and decision by the head coach not to call a timeout. That the ball found itself to your best shooter on a damn good look. It's like you saying Ray Allen missing that three. Oh, he wasn't the best shooter. That nigga is Ray fucking Allen. What are you talking about? This is champagne for them, bro. He's a 40% 3-point shooter. What are you talking about?
And I was saying this all, and I'm so glad I walked it down so you to say what you said, FIFO, because it's exactly where I was trying to get to my point. This team is young. They don't know what the fuck they doing just yet. So we shouldn't be trusting.
They missed a shot?
Hold on, listen.
Because they missed a good shot?
I'm saying we shouldn't be trusting anybody until they prove it. And two, if I told you, FIFO, you have 3 seconds left in this game, Spurs have a timeout, do you give the ball to Wemby? I think that you would say, I would take the timeout and give the ball to Wemby. Now you're saying hold on, listen. I know, but that's why you call it timeout. One. And two, FIFA, I know you said in the flow of the game, you got to know context. You got to watch the games. I'm saying in the context of the flow of the game, I don't think anybody felt comfortable watching that thing and thinking like, is he really gonna shoot that for them to close out the game? Like, I'm saying comfortable. I'm not saying that it wasn't a smart move, but it's like no one really felt like if he made it, he made it. But the fact that he didn't and the ball didn't touch Wemby's hands when they got to the other half court, I'm just saying like you're gonna look back on it and say maybe.
I thought that shit was going in. Go ahead, Sean.
I did too. I was gonna say, but Nick, we really can't say that because we looked at this game and what did we just see? Wemby had 11 points, like you just said. So Wemby was not scoring the ball as much this game. He was doing everything else that you needed him to do. Champagne had 17 points. He was 7 for 12 from the field. He was making most of his shots. Now, the difference I would have done, what I was thinking, was you play for the tie and go to overtime. That's what I thought they were going to do because he could have drove the ball to the basket and gotten, if nothing else, got fouled. They would have made it. He would have made that layup easy.
Wide open three. But it was a wide open three.
That's what I'm saying, people. I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at the shot whatsoever.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm killing the head coach, and I know this is a lot of Monday morning quarterback shit. But all I'm saying is that I think the next time they're in that situation, they play that differently. And I'm saying that comes with being in the playoffs more often with the head. I think the head coach doesn't have that much playoff experience either. I'm just saying I think they play that. I think they play it differently.
This is the right call at the right moment. Like Shelton just said, Wemby was struggling offensively, bro. So why are we gonna call a timeout? Stop the flow because we had to come back. We have the momentum. San Antonio had the momentum in that moment. You ride the momentum and you ride wherever the ball finds the energy because your best player didn't have it that night. So that's why I'm 1,000,000% okay with the call to go how they decided to play that out at the end. In another game, Wemby might be cooking, and you call that timeout, and you get the ball to Wemby. That might be the call for that game, but for this game, this was the right call. It just didn't fall their way. That's all.
I do want to say something. And he admitted it at the end of the game, but I've seen this happen a few times in the playoffs. In late game situations, Ant-Man tends to go LeBron James on us, and he makes some bad turnovers and mistakes.
Yep.
It happened in that game. It happened last year in a couple of games. It happened the year before in a couple of games. He makes some really bad mistakes late in games. And he knows it. That's all he was thinking about, but it keeps happening. And it didn't cost him this game, but man, he got to clean that up, bro. And I don't know what he got to do, but yeah, he can't keep doing that.
Well, he called himself out. So, like you said, so he
called
aware
himself
of it.
out the last time he did it, and the time before that.
Yeah,
right. Some habits they die hard, Ken. But he at least him coming back and doing what he did, especially in that fourth quarter. Hey, he was cooking in that fourth quarter.
He was, but he was one shot away from it all not meaning anything. It would have been on him.
That's the NBA. That's the playoffs, ain't it, Shelton?
But no, it would have been on him.
Bro. You're the best player. Thank you, Shelton.
Yeah, it was on him. He turned that ball over. It went at a critical point. So it wouldn't even come down to that last shot if Ant had done what.
Can you say that sentence again?
It wouldn't have come down to that last shot if he hadn't turned the ball over.
I forgot. I heard if. So that's the only reason.
No, I said if he hadn't turned it over, it wouldn't have come down to one last shot.
And he did turn it
won it.
And he did. Yep. He did it.
I'm just saying
it would have been a multiple possession win, and they only won by one possession. They should have won by damn near 3 possessions.
With that all, if we're doing the if part, their free throw shooting, this should have been a much bigger margin of victory as well too, because they were shitball at the line.
They were.
Yeah. So that's I just wanted to point that out. I've seen it, and I'm like, yeah, this I'm seeing a pattern. So that's all. But this should be a fun, entertaining series. But I think the Wolves' experience gives them an edge, and I think the Spurs' inexperience, might cost them in a couple of games here.
And they're known they're the best team that knows how to guard and match up against a talented big.
Yeah, some of the offensive sets and strategies that the coach was doing to get Wemby out on the perimeter and away from the basket was pretty smart. And getting Gobert out there, having Randall and Reed out at the same time at the 4-5, it was good.
Hey, shout out to Chris Finch. We don't talk about him enough.
And Jaden McDaniels had a bad game, and they won the game. So we'll see what adjustments are made for the next game. But that's it, man. That's it. We got our picks in for the second round. It's been an entertaining NBA playoffs. I saw the ratings were up and everything. So
it's just people complaining about these
late ass games,
the late games, and also the platforms of the games. Like the fact that the Timberwolves Spurs was on NBC, or was on Peacock or something.
Crazy. Like Peacock.
Yeah. Granted,
it's always on NBC Peacock. All the games have been on Peacock, Amazon Prime, right?
But one is on the streaming. Like you have to go on the streaming service to see both games, or have the option to see both games. And one is just on regular NBC network TV.
Oh, y'all got to step the game up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People are complaining like, nigga, this the playoffs. We should have it should be like NBC, ABC, or ESPN, NBC. Like, give us an option to kind of switch back and forth.
ESPN don't got the games no more.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, they do. They still got. They got some games. They don't have all of them though.
They haven't got no playoff games.
They do. They got the Knicks playing tomorrow.
I understand what you're saying, Nick. I think because I'm so streaming heavy that I just go to Peacock or Amazon Prime. I don't even think about like all.
But you're a sports fan.
About.
You're a sports fan though. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like the average, like if you're at a bar. Motherfuckers be like, nigga, we ain't got Peacock.
Niggas
Well,
better
better
have
get it.
Peacock.
Well,
They
yeah,
want to
they-
put people inside that
Sports,
establishment.
Yeah, you're right.
you
You're
mean?
right.
Sports
But
bar,
it's
you
just
better
like you gotta have. But how do you play both games at the same time? It's just that's what I'm saying. If they're on the same platform,
I got to go back and watch this game. But yeah, OKC, as expected, 108-90. Lakers down 0-1. And LeBron had a good game.
He did. He played hard. There's no need to go back and watch it.
Well, I want to see what OKC did, man. I always go back and rewatch the game.
you gonna see Austin Reeves do a hell of an acting job, pretending like he still got a bad back.
Shit.
Yeah, kid.
Watch the
Kid.
condensed version. The
Yeah,
1 minute and 27 condensed.
I will.
version. Hey,
Kid
damn.
Chet had
will.
24 and 12. What you got to say about it?
Who did?
Chet.
Man, nobody
Hey.
talks about Chet anymore, bro.
Before we close it out with Super Chess, Ken, Nick was on Another Week in the Books. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. It was a great episode. Get another version of Nick that you don't always get to see. So I enjoyed it thoroughly. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out. Another Week in the Books.
All right, y'all do that. And last thing before we get out here, Rob Costa. In the last 3 years, I wish I would have saw this. I should have brought this up. He blew a 20-point lead at home in Game 7, got blown out in another Game 7, and got bounced in 6 games in round 1 to an injured underdog. Can Nikola Jokic finally pay for his crimes?
I just think we need to just have a more honest conversation that him and Giannis is on the same playing field. Like if you're gonna hype up Joker as one of the best ever, you got to say the same thing about Giannis.
Giannis is one of the best. At his
Yeah,
position
I think
ever.
people say it.
No, people were saying like Joker's like top 10, like already.
all time.
Well,
Yeah, all time.
Yeah,
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 all time.
I've seen that.
That's what I'm saying.
I've seen that argument. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you wild.
Yeah, they got
Top
carried
10
away
big
with
man.
Giannis.
Not even
You
big
got an
man.
argument.
Big man, they were saying he top 3.
yeah. They were saying top 3.
Yeah,
big
they were
man.
going. Yeah,
Yeah, they put him up there in that Kareem Wilt category.
Yeah, they just say they saying he's already better than Olajuwon, which is crazy to me. But
He's not past Shaq to me. I could make an
were
argument
trying
for
to do
Joker
that
top
too?
5.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could make an argument for Joker top 5, top 3.
Top
I
5.
can't
What?
make that argument.
Center.
Top 5. What?
Big man,
Centers.
big man,
Centers.
centers.
big man.
Top 5.
You got
top 5. I can
Wilt.
make an argument.
you got Wilt, Kareem. You got Wilt, Kareem,
Wilt, Hakeem, Shaq,
Shaq,
and
Hakeem, and then him.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What about
agree.
Bill? What about Bill Russell?
Wait. What do you mean that's? Y'all gonna say, what do y'all mean that's it?
What about Bill Russell?
Joker better than Bill Russell?
I say so.
He disrespectful. He disrespectful.
Look, I mean, Bill Russell did some great things, but
He did some great things, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
This is why
Top
they say
15.
this is why they say the youth is dead because they got people like Sheldon teaching them.
They're getting recipes from Sheldon. Sheldon teaching them how to grill. That's why. Sheldon telling them that you ain't got to put that. You ain't got to spray the ribs when they're on the grill.
This
Just let them
nigga-
dry out. Yeah,
this nigga got more rings than you got fingers, but he just did something.
they had a great team. Who else played? There was only 4 teams back then.
Is that his fault?
No.
They
Joker
called
better
it
than
that.
Patrick. Joker better than Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he better. He better.
Yeah.
Better than
I love
Lonzo
the hate,
Mourning.
Lou, but
Bill Russell didn't even average 20 points a game, though, did he?
I don't even know why you even brought up Alonzo.
I'm just well.
I
He
like
said he
that.
said Patrick Ewing,
He got a
George
ring.
Oh
Star.
well, yeah.
and he got
Zoe
a
got a
ring.
ring. Don't Alonzo
Zoe
got a
got a
ring?
ring.
Yeah.
He got one. Was
Yeah,
that?
I know.
He
but-
won with Wade, right? That was the
With
Wade
Shaq.
one.
Yeah, he was the backup center to Shaq.
Yeah, he got up out of there after that. He became an executive.
That was
boy.
it. Hey,
He
that was his
clean.
last leg, Nick. It was so.
clean transition, bro. He been sitting next to Pat Riley ever since.
Ever since.
Oh shit!
Oh man, but
Is Joker better than
I-
Moses Malone?
That's
Yeah,
the
who's
argument.
tough one?
That's the
That's a
argument.
tough one, but
Better than
that's
who?
really tough because
Moses
I like
Malone.
Moses Malone. But yeah,
I
he is
think
better
so.
than Moses Malone. Yeah.
Mm.
I like Moses
I don't know
Malone.
about that. I don't know about that's an argument.
I don't know.
not Birdman, but Guadalupe. Nick.
Can you ask Nick who has better rosters, Rockets or Spurs? Hey, listen. He talking about 2026, 27 season. This is what they do, Ken. They scream my failures and whispers my success. All right?
Because you scream a lot too. But yeah, them boys didn't even make it out the first round, boy. That take didn't come around to help you at all.
Listen, KD got hurt. I would have picked something different.
Yep.
Shout out Birdman.
Ooh, shout out to
shit.
you, bro.
Damn, that must have been a mean parlay. Shout out to
Yes, sir.
you,
Yeah, bro.
He hit a nice lick on FanDuel.
boy.
FanDuel, DraftKings.
Hey, Ken, we should bring Birdman on. Manny gave us $5 punk ass dollars. He should be banned for life. For that.
They $5 bounce too.
He must have bet on the Lakers losing or something. But all right, salute to you, Birdman. Appreciate it. Yeah, don't spend it all in one place, bro. Yep.
Somebody asked about so okay.
Yeah, that goes up tomorrow, but the Patreon episode is up though.
Yeah, go be a patron. If y'all want shit quick, go be a patron.
Right. All right, man. Well, we appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week to recap all the mess and the playoffs, NBA playoffs. So until then, we out. Peace.
Peace.
Now with McDonald's, wake up to a $4 breakfast meal deal. Wake up to a sausage McMuffin or sausage biscuit, to hash browns, and wake up to a hot coffee. Get your $4 breakfast meal deal.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.